Hello to anyone who is out there watching. What I have for you today is a customized 1660 Kershaw Leek designed by Ken Onion. In this video, I'm just going to be going over the modifications that I did to this knife and I'm sort of describing how you can do them because although I'm really thrilled with how this came out, and obviously I did this work myself, it's not something that anyone couldn't do. You know, it's very simple, tedious, but simple in terms of putting a design like this on a knife. So, like I said, just gonna go over what the modifications are and the method that I use to do them. And hopefully, if you have any feedback or you know of a better way, you can let me know in the comments down below. But I'm gonna jump right into it. So, the main thing that you can see on this knife are all of these tiger stripes. It's probably the most obvious thing that was done here. I'm calling them tiger stripes, but they're really just stripes. I don't know how much they actually resemble a tiger. But we've got them going all the way down the frame on both sides. They're on the pocket clip, and we'll get into that in just a minute. And both sides of the blade, and you can see that they actually like wrap around the spine down to the other side, which I think is pretty cool. But sticking with the blade for now, what we did was remove the bead blast by polishing the knife, first and foremost. And the reason for that is that the acid etch just jumps right off of the mirror polish a whole lot better than it does off the bead blast. So again, mirror polish on the blade and then the acid etch design. Pretty simple, right? So the way that I did this acid etch might be different from the way that I've seen a lot of tutorials on YouTube. If you've never acid etched a knife, I'm not really going to go into those kind of details here. There's plenty of really good YouTube tutorials, and Lazy Lizard Gear does some really good ones. There's a couple other people that I can't think of right now, but just do a quick search and you can see the basics of it. But the way my method is a little bit different in terms of putting the design on the knife, because I'm not an artist. I'm a terrible artist. I've seen people using the nail polish and painting on the design that they want to do, whether it's like vines or just like a splotch pattern or stripes like this, and I'm not capable of doing stuff like that. There's one video, and again, I think it's Lazy Lizard Gear, did barbed wire, and it looked wonderful, and there's no way that I could do that. But what I can do is carve out the design. So what this blade actually had was the entire thing painted with nail polish. Multiple coats just to make sure that, like when you zoom in here, that there's no acid that eats through on the edge, you know, so you have to do multiple coats and get it thick. But I literally painted the entire thing, and then I used this guy right here to carve out the design. Now maybe there's other people that do that, I'm not sure, but that's what I sort of figured out could give me the best ability to do the detail work that I wanted. You know, and actually like design the stripes as like I said, as detailed as I wanted to. You know, painting it on, it just wasn't gonna happen for me. And I'd already been like putting my initials or something else, you know, with the paper clip, so I figured why not just try the whole knife. And it's tedious to paint the entire thing and then carve it out, but it actually worked. So again, as far as that stuff goes, if you have any better ideas for a way for me to do this or some kind of alternative, let me know what you think down below. But that's sort of how I went about it. And so that's what I did on the blade. And on the frame is the same way. Painted the whole thing, carved out my design with the trusty safety pin, and then I acid etched it. And then this frame got a dual layer acid etch. So once it came out of the acid, I removed all of the nail polish and then etched it again. So as you can see, you've got a double etch, which just looks pretty darn cool in contrast with the, there we go, in contrast with the blade really well. And then after that, I stone washed it to give it the acid wash finish. all of my stonewashing I actually do by hand. I don't have a tumbler, so I basically just choose my media, whether it's a natural like river rock or something in terms of like a synthetic media, and I put it in a bottle with a bunch of lubricant and just shake it to my heart's content until I get the result that I want. So it's a really neat way to be able to really control exactly how you get the stonewash look. All right, so that's the frame, and then on the back side here with the clip, I polished that as well, just like the blade. And then the acid etch here, I made match the frame behind it. So it only works at the right angle. You can see the lines sort of connect with the lines on the frame, which is pretty cool. If I had to do it again, I'm not 100% sure that I would do it this way, but it did work out pretty well. The one thing that I will say, if you were to try something like this, obviously if you were to move the position of the clip from tip down to tip up, it really wouldn't work. It wouldn't line up anymore. But that said, with the Kershaw Leek, I would never carry this standard clip tip up, because so much knife is exposed. It's just sort of a joke. So most of my knives I prefer tip up, because that's sort of what everybody likes, for a ton of reasons. But this one I always carry tip down anyway, so didn't think it was a problem. In terms of the functioning of the knife, it's pretty perfect. The knife was brand new in box when I got it, and this is one of a few Kershaw Leeks that I've customized, and they always do very well in terms of the quality of the materials and getting put back together well. Lockup is always really good. You saw the speed there is good. The centering is good. I mean, no issues, no play. Still perfectly functional knife. So there's no concerns there, of like stripping screws or anything like that. With some of the cheaper Kershaws, you don't have that kind of quality hardware. But this is a pretty easy knife to put back together, and easier than a lot of other speed safe designs from Kershaw as well. So again, I would never hesitate to modify one of these. It's pretty simple. So that's really all I have for you. I just wanted to sort of show this off and give you a little information if you wanted to do something like this. Like I said, I'm pretty proud of this knife, especially since I'm not particularly talented, and it's something that just worked out, and it is something that anyone could do. So again, comments down below. Any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, I'd be more than happy to hear them. Thank you for watching. One last thing, if you are linking to my other videos, or if you've watched those before, you might notice some shaky cam on those. This is actually the first video I've made with a tripod, so if you are linking to those other videos, I apologize for the jumpiness. But again, thanks for bearing with me, and have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.